This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For the Most High hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and blessings be multiplied on all you brethren, preaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, 144,000, and the rest of the men, women, and children that will receive mercy from the Lord in these last days. I'm the brother Dama Agabar, here with another lesson. The Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. All right, this is going to be a quick lesson on an article I came across, which shows you that Revelation, the 17th chapter, under President Donald Trump, this madman, is coming to pass. You see, because we believe through the spirit, and through faith that Donald Trump is going to be the president that's going to bring in this prophecy, as well as the MOTB, the mark of the beast, the micro C-hip, and ultimately the ultimate destruction of Babylon, the great America. And I'm going to show you in this article a part of how some of the horns that are upon the beast, which the beast represents, the European Economic Community, which was established in 1958, or what you would call the EU. And you have a lot of members of the EU, the European Union, and NATO, which America is a part of. You have a lot of the members of, the European Union or the EU that are ultimately coming up against America. All right. Like France and Europe, England, a lot of Germany, a lot of those European countries that are part of the European Union. Hey, they're pissed at America and what Donald Trump is doing. So they're not seeing eye to eye. Trump is basically making a lot of the EU members, pay for their own, start putting in more money. He's talking about separating from NATO. There's talk, they're not seeing eye to eye. America's talking about withdrawing its military aid to the to NATO and the EU, and ultimately, pulling America out. And they got a lot of these 10 horns pissed off and mad at the West and America, to where now they're talking about going to war with Babylon, going to war with America. Even Canada, which is a part of NATO, even they're coming up against America. Even they're talking about going to war, this whole tariff war that's going on with America. So we see this place is becoming highly isolated, man. But like it says here in the 17th chapter, it's because the Lord is putting it in their hearts of these different kingdoms to hate the whore, man. And we see it coming to pass each and every day, a little bit more and more every day. All right. So I wanted to read this, right? It says, French government demands Trump return Statue of Liberty. We no longer support the U.S., you see. And guess what? France is part of those 10 horns. France is one of those members, when you deal with, I think it's Belgium, Denmark, France, Italy, the Netherlands, Greece, Luxembourg, Ireland, England, and then you got, NATO as well, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, all those countries, which, some of the EU members, they're a part of the EU, and they're a part of NATO, like Italy and France, Portugal, Belgium, et cetera, et cetera. They're a part of not only the EU, but also a part of NATO. I think Canada is a part of NATO too. But guess what? They're all starting to hate the whore, which the whore is America. And right here it says, what? French government demands Trump return the Statue of Liberty. We no longer support the U.S. You see? And that's part of this. And I'm going to read this article and then I'm going to close it out. This is a part of this, what we read in Daniel, the second chapter. And it says, Daniel's 2:40, and it says, and the fourth kingdom shall be as strong as iron. We know that fourth kingdom, like it says here, is the Roman Empire. But now we're living in the revitalized Roman Empire, which is America. It says, shall be as strong as iron, which is his military might. For as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things. You see, and that's what you see happening now. What is Trump telling EU he's going to do is withdraw the military support of America from the EU. which is part of that iron that makes America powerful is their military, and a lot of those European nations, um, and a lot of those NATO nations, they rely on the military power or the iron of America as a way to solidify their dominance. And it says, "For as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise. And whereas thou sawest the feet and the toes, part of the part is clay, and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided." You see, and the part that's iron and the parts that clay is America being the iron, and a lot of those EU nations, that are the clay. They're weak militarily. They're weak financially, and they're, in these last days, they're begging and wanting America to continue to fit the bill and to pay all the expenses, and to keep them propped up. But America and Trump is saying, look, we really not receiving no benefit from propping you guys up and fitting the bill. Now it's time for you to start putting in. It's time for you to start, basically, you know, um, putting back in so that America can get stronger. Too long, America has been, carrying you on their backs, and you haven't been paying your fair share. So we can see how they're divided, and they're now, like it says here, they shall be divided. But there shall be in it the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with ivory clay, right? Which is what the America, the military. You see, and that's what makes these the EU and NATO strong, is the backing and the military aid of America, which has all these different military bases all over the world. They have the biggest military budget, double of everybody else, all these other superpowers, and that's what keeps this the beast, NATO, the beast, NATO, and the EU and America at the helm powerful is the military part. And it says, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. You see? And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. You see? And that's what we see taking place. All right. The whole the dividing and the future destruction of the beast, and this continually being divided, because ultimately all of the EU and the NATO, like I said, Canada is a part of that. And right now, France, they are hating the whore. And this article is further proof that this scripture coming to pass. It says the French say they no longer support the U.S., man, and they want the Statue of Liberty back. You see? So they're basically saying, look, we're done with this whole alliance. We don't want no parts of it, man. All right. And it's going to be more and more of these different countries as well. England, Ireland, Greece, the Netherlands, eventually they're all going to separate themselves from Babylon the Great, America, until eventually it's going to be destroyed by Yahweh Shai. It says the French government has demanded that the Trump administration return the Statue of Liberty, citing that the United States no longer aligns with the values France championed when it gifted the monument in 1886. This unprecedented move is being spearheaded by leftist politician Raphael Glucksmann, a member of the European Parliament, who led the charge during a gathering of his Place Publique movement. He slammed Trump's foreign policy, defense of scientific freedom, and budgetary decisions as evidence of America's drift from its founding ideas. You see, this is why they're going to hate the whore. This is why they're divided. They're not seeing eye to eye with America and the goals that Trump has for Babylon the Great, America, which he wants to make America great again. He wants to put America at the forefront of, of making America great, even if it comes at the expense of cutting ties and cutting relationship with these other, allies that are not pretty much, helping to put America back on top. Because at the end of the day, a lot of these, like I said, the EU and the NATO, they all benefit from being aligned and being partnered with America. But Trump says that these different allies have been taking advantage of America for too long, and they're not putting in their fair share. And he feels that since they're the brawn, they're the muscle, they're the, the machine that helps these nations to assert their dominance, they need to be doing more for the interests of America first, so that it can stay on top and these nations can, benefit as well. You see, it says, we're going to say to the Americans who have chosen to side with tyrants, to the Americans who fire researchers for demonstrating scientific freedom, give us back the Statue of Liberty. We gave it to you as a gift, but apparently you despise it, so it will be just fine here at home, Glucksman told supporters. It says the second thing we're going to say to the Americans is, if you want to fire your best researchers, if you want to fire all the people who, through their freedom and their sense of innovation, their taste for doubt and research, have made your country the world's leading power, then we're going to welcome them, he added. Glucksman also addressed the dismissal of American researchers advocating for scientific freedom. Expressing France's willingness to welcome these scientists, he further criticized right-wing French parliamentarians who support Trump and Elon Musk, labeling them a fan club. You see, that's the guy right here. Yeah, then it goes into a Statue of Liberty. But the main point is that, hey, these the whore and its allies is being divided, man, and hey, the prophecy is getting ready to come to pass, man. You see? Hey, they're divided. They're partly strong. They're partly broken. And now it's going to get to the point to where they're going to just completely cut ties pretty much in the future. You see, and this is all prophetic. This is things that we need to go to pass, because what comes after that? It says here, the divine kingdom in Daniel 2:44. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. You see, and that's what Yahushua is coming to do. But first, prophecy has to be put in place to where, the further division of these, of the beast, NATO and the EU and America, and eventually what I read in Revelations, the 15th chapter, as far as, the 10 horns burning this whore with fire. You see, it says, for as much as thou sawest that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it brake in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great power hath made known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain, and the interpretation is true. An interpretation thereof sure. You see, so these things are going to continue to come to pass, and the further division and the division and the hatred of the whore by his allies is going to eventually be fully fulfilled, and America, Babylon the Great, being burnt with nuclear fire. And know this, France has nuclear missiles. I think their nuclear missiles that they have were given to them by America, man. You see, but like it says, they're going to turn and burn this whore with fire. So as we can see, man, the Lord is putting things in motion. Hey, the 10 horns, they are hating the whore, and they're going to continue to hate the whore the more that Trump, moves forward with his agenda, man. It's going to further isolate America, Babylon the Great, and eventually Israel, to where all these different nations are going to turn and burn this whore with fire, man. Even the allies and the so-called friends of the West. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua for putting the spirit in me to do this lesson. Lord willing, you were edified. Shalom.